back.
That was my fault. I had to go back because I normally get asked about our pitching tomorrow. So this for you guys.
Good job, Peter.
It's a lot for me to remember. Yeah, continue to have good days as we're gearing up for our first games on Saturday. So I would just continue to talk about a lot of little things that will be popping up today. We cuts and relays, and try to simulate as much as we possibly could with getting their coordinates down, their arm, their sight lines, their accuracy, arm strength, getting another outfielder. So there's a lot that goes into it when you're trying to figure out where to position yourself on those plays. So it was a good first day there, and then it was really to prioritize the pitchers and let them get their work in. So overall, I thought solid day, good arms, good ABs, everything's taking place the way we wanted to.
What did you see out of Merrill Kelly yesterday, and how is he as far as his preparation for the World Baseball Classic?
I think he's right on. So there's strategy to him throwing yesterday and getting that game clock started. And it was 1 inning, 20 plus pitches, and he was executing. And I'm not surprised at all. The way the ball comes out of his hand is very consistent with what I remember last year. And he's a great worker. He knows what he wants to get to. But we're prioritizing getting him up to that pitch count where we're going to be comfortable saying, go ahead and do your job at the highest level the best way you know how. And that's up to us to make sure that he's as ready as he can be before he steps out of here.
When you were doing the cutoff drills, I noticed, C-Walk actually thought a couple guys were in the right position and kind of debating a little bit with the coaches about that.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of interplay that you want to see players engaged with?
I love that. I love that. We initiated a couple changes to our cuts and relays. One involved him, and then he just wanted, he wanted to ask some questions about what his responsibilities were on one particular play. And yeah, I encourage that. If somebody wants to stop the drill and get some clarity to something, I think clarity eliminates confusion, and that's what we're after. And they all advocate for themselves, and we were prepared to answer why. So, we talk about it. We have our morning meetings. I walk through the absolutes and the things that I'm going to demand to take place out there, and then from there we can work off of what we see. And certainly, if a player wants to stop and get some clarity in a particular play, we're going to stop and get that clarity for him.
Has anything stood up about Moreno yet here first week or so?
From an offensive standpoint, yeah, there's a lot of bat speed, a lot of ability to impact baseball from gap to gap. Some of the core beliefs we have from a hitting standpoint, and then defensively, I think there's just softness to his receiving. I think there's an ease to the movements, and I haven't been able to really zone in and watch him more than a couple live BPs on both sides, whether he's catching or hitting it. So I just like his comfort level, his demeanor, and that's how he came here. He came here as somebody that's able to speak up and take some of the leaps, part of a leadership role that position demands.
Are you missing out of Jordan Waller being, big league camp?
Yeah, I saw the home run he hit yesterday. That's for sure. But I think he's just getting familiar, just getting himself grounded and trying to get a feel for his teammates, get a feel for his spacing, and it's been a quick rise for him. And haven't been injured. Not a lot of games played. He's probably been in a couple of clubhouses, but getting into this clubhouse, I think, is something that we prioritize, and getting him around some of these teammates is something that I'm sure he's excited about. So that's him just getting familiar with the spacing. Now, fundamentally, I'm watching him pick up his ground balls, good hands, good actions. Love the way he throws on the run. And offensively, it just looks like he's following the baseball. Every BP, whether it's live, whether it's a coach pitch, or whether it's a machine, velo machine, he's following the baseball around the zone. He's hitting it where it's pitched, and that's very impressive.
What is the presence of Lourdes Gurriel to a really young, talented outfielder?
Just what you would expect. Somebody that gives us a little bit of stability from the right-handed batter's box, gives us a little bit of stability with a professional at-bat. And he's been around. He's had some really good years, and I know he fought through a hand injury last year that very few knew about, and just continue to work on that approach and keep it very professional by staying in the middle of the diamond. And those are the things that we like. So controlling the zone, at the plate, swinging a strike, working pitches, working pitchers. Those are the qualities that stand out to me from the batter's box. And then defensively, I've had a really good chance to lock onto him, but I know that he's a very athletic defender. So we'll let that play out and continue to make the evaluations on him.
For a couple other than newcomers, Kyle Lewis and Longoria, what have you seen from them so far?
Kyle, you know, every time I walk onto the field that he's on, whether it's a live session or a coach pitch, he impacts the baseball. I saw him hit a long home run yesterday, and it just looks like he's on all over the baseball from the batter's box. And then defensively, you know, just he's tooled up. He's got a lot of ability to go chase the baseball and play it fundamentally, and those are the little things that we look at. And then Longoria, I know I've had a couple of conversations with him. Unfortunately, he's been out sick for the past couple of days. You know, he's just trying to get in here and get his feet and his hands working defensively, and then get that barrel moving in the right direction offensively. So I think he knows where he's trying to get to each and every day. But there's a certain ease to his game and a comfort to his game that makes me feel really good. There's professionalism in everything that he does, and I'm excited to watch him get going.
Speaking of Longoria, we ask a lot about Longoria's leadership abilities, but what kind of leadership value does Nick Ahmed have? I mean, I remember last year when he was hurt, he was kind of giving guys tips. What is his value?
Yeah, he's relentless in that area. He doesn't stop. You know, he gives unbelievable add-ins. Today I was trying to make some points about the cut and relays beliefs that I have, and he amplified a couple of thoughts that I had. So he was spot on with making points, and he's just fearless with standing up in front of his teammates and challenging them to get better. And to me, that's good leadership. Somebody that can say the right thing at the right time and make sense of it. That's a good leader. Holding players accountable, that's a good leader, and that's what Nick Ahmed will do.
How has he changed from that perspective, or grown in that perspective during his time here?
For me, one-on-one, he's always been very good at advocating for himself, and I always appreciate that. Somebody that can come in and comfortably get their points across about how they're feeling, what they're trying to say, has definitely been a strength of his. And I think when I first got here, he was a little submissive to other certain guys with the initials PG, as everybody else was. So it took him a little time to develop that, but I always felt like he had it in him when I was with him in those early years. But over the past 3 or 4 years, it's blossomed, and I really appreciate that.
Torey, how have you adapted to the rules? Have you had a chance to kind of wrap your mind around what you're going to do as far as the game plan goes and how you can maybe benefit from them?
Yeah, I think about it a lot, to be honest with you. I probably am a little hypersensitive to it. I don't like to be exploited as a team and have that defensive feeling. I want us to attack all the time with everything that we're doing. So when there are some new normals that we're all getting used to, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get punched and counterpunched more than anything. So like I said a few days ago, Gil Velasquez said to me, "You're worried about it. I respect it, but it's not going to be a big difference maker for you. But let's continue talking about it," has been my mindset, and I appreciated that. And I've had a few people tell me that have had experience with these rules, but we talk about it a lot, and we're making sure our pitchers are ready to execute and our batters are in the box comfortable and ready to go. That to me is the first coordinate. Once we get there, we'll figure out what teams are doing. We're going to let the games play out a little bit, and then continue to have some conversations. But players are smart; they'll make adjustments, and they'll come to us with suggestions with how to exploit it. Something that I believe in. Player sight lines are way better between the white lines than ours. So if they have ideas, we're going to implement them.
Torey, with all that Corbin Martin has been through these last couple of years, what do you want to see from him this spring?
Yeah, just what I saw today from his live BP. Great mound presence, stand on the bump and execute, and feel good about that execution. He got after it today. Extremely high velo, really good sharp breaking balls, and you know, he's going to be working out of the bullpen. That's was known last year. We told him, we sat on that all off season. He's ready for this challenge, and it's something that I want him to accept. So overall, what am I looking for? Command of his pitches, being comfortable with where he's at, on every pitch and learning from every pitch and not wasting an opportunity to continue moving forward.
How are you?
I think he's up to 97.
Now that we've had a few days of these live BP sessions, are there any pitchers that are standing out for their roster?
Because that's an every time, gosh darn it. Yeah, of course. But it's like me saying who I like better between you and the rest of the guys here. I don't want you to know that. I want you to think I like everybody, all right? Look, I can't discount what I saw, for example, from Corbin Martin today. I can't. I know how hard he's worked to put himself in this position. So I get really excited when guys are issued a challenge, accept that challenge, and then push forward to show the things that he showed today. And he's been doing that over the past couple of times that I've watched him. So I get really charged up about that type of stuff. But I'm also learning about, Bryce and Hendricks, some of these 6-year free agents that have come in here that are trying to make an impression. So everybody's looked really good. I can't target one guy that's just really stood out and jumped above everybody else. Guys were prepared. They were challenged with that. For the ones that we knew were coming back, they've come in showing us what they're ready to do. The ones that are new to the system, I think a lot of them were in an off-season reliever camp, and they have taken on what we've asked them to do there as well. So it's been just really impressive all the way around.
You watched Bob yesterday?
I did watch them. It's just command of all of his pitches. He knows where it's going. He knows what he's trying to get to, and I've enjoyed my conversation with him. He's in a really good spot.
It's no secret that Martin's out of options, and I know that.
Yeah.
What's that?
You got an extra option.
Oh, he did. Well, then scratch that.
Yeah, that sneaky fourth option. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Some people get that. Poppin had that sneaky fourth option last year.
That's right.
What's the rule for that? How do you get it?
It's usually injury related,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to request it, right? Like a team has to request it.
Yeah, I think so. All right,
Any,
guys.
any health updates, anything like that going on?
Longoria's sick. He's missed the past couple of days. I misspoke. Gustave and Munoz are late arrivals to the camp. Right-hand pitcher Gustave, infielder Munoz. They're having some visa issues, but they're working hard to get here. They'll be here as soon as possible. Other injuries? No, nothing. I think we're all in a good spot.
And Tommy Henry Saturday?
Saturday is gonna be Jameson away and Nelly here. Yep.
Okay.
And then you'll see Chafin, Familia, Hendricks, Castro, Ginkle, Stumpo, and Vargas behind Nelly here. Clay and Biddle, Crichton behind Jameson.
What can you look for in those first starts?
Probably, of course, the stuff. The stuff matters. I just told you that I got all excited about Martin today, but the stuff certainly matters. The crispness of the stuff isn't necessarily something that I'm looking at to be repeated. I just probably want to see a good breaking ball 1 out of 3 times instead of my expectation is 3 out of 3 times. What does a mound presence look like? What does the tempo look like? What the re-engagement after getting hit? What does that look like? The disengagement when you need to kind of step away for a second to reload. So a lot of little things that I've just trained myself to look at tell me a little bit of a different story other than what you're seeing when you're reading the box score or when you're looking at the data. I'm looking for separators, and I think consistency is probably the first thing for me.